beginning, yeah. When you get a class where you tell me how to do the preschool, because I guess I'm gonna be doing the preschool.
Yeah, you're into computers, we're still figuring it out. We can't throw pre-K into intermediate yet. Otherwise, our school thinks it's a pre-K for fifth grade elementary school. It tries to create a Kindle first and second grade in that enrollment.
So the
And
campers that I have, what I do, because I only have two.
they were all, we sent over the staff. And Tammy hasn't. So Tammy already, or it's the stack, and there's a box in elementary that just says to transfer it over, but we're just storing right now to figure out what we're doing. So once we get them all there, that'll be fine. The only other problem is that.
Certain places they would have. Outside.
We're on the track.
No.
Call to order. Please rise for the pledge.
United States of America. To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the blue flag, state of New Mexico, state of San Juan, perfect representation of the United States.
Mr. President, members of the board, tonight we have, quite a few guests. We have Jerry Dodd and Cheyenne. We have, our principals, Ms. Lochner, Rachel Mueller, our director, Shelley Choi, assistant superintendent, Jody Hill, principal of the high school, Becky King, intermediate teacher, and Senora. And Yadi tonight will be doing the principal's report for the middle school. We also are very, very lucky tonight to have Decker and Parrish, our architects from we have Juan and Juan.
Good evening.
Oh, I should.
Good evening.
Sorry about that.
Oh, one's over there.
Okay, I knew
So you got it right.
I knew one of the Juans was here. And I guess we'll start with our principal's report is, we're gonna go to public comment. Do we have any public comment? Anybody wanna? Let's see, not speak now. You know what? Let's go to Decker Parish with their presentation, then we can come back to the principal's reports, because I think everybody here is gonna enjoy their presentation. Is that okay with you guys?
We're trying to share this meeting,
Who, which one?
Sanjay.
Sanjay? Okay.
So Sanjay, that you're enabling your sharing option.
Thank you.
Yeah, you should be able to.
That's not Amanda Silva there.
You should be able now, Sanjay.
It still says I cannot share. Should be now.
Okay, please try now.
There it is.
There it goes. All right. Well, thank you so much, President Gomez, members of the board, Superintendent Lindsay, distinguished guests tonight. Thank you so much for having us. My name is Juan Dorado, one of the Juans, the Juan online, I guess you could say, with Decker. And we are just elated to be here tonight to present to you just an update to the Tularosa Middle School Replacement Project. And so with that, Sanjay, if you'll advance, please. So we wanted to just give a little bit about Decker. If, I think some folks may have worked with us in the past. I know Mr. Lindsay and the design committee team has been working with us pretty extensively over the last few months. But, one thing that we're really proud of is we are a specialist in education. Decker has been around for over 60 years. And with our dedicated studio, K-12 studio and the education studio, we're able to bring all of these projects that we've worked on, which is over 300 school projects and that extensive experience to you and your team with Tularosa. And more particularly, our extensive experience with CTE programs, since this has a CTE component to it that is going to benefit both the middle school and the high school, is something we're very proud of. And of course, marrying that with your experience of how your district and schools work with our equipment and lab experience when it comes to experiential education is something that this project is going to really have a great impact for your community and students going forward. Most importantly, one thing to just note is we all know this is going to be on the existing high school campus to the west side, and that comes with some logistics. And so we have those logistics that we've worked on through multiple projects, bringing over 25 plus occupied campus experience projects. And in particularly, we're very proud of the fact that we have a lot of experience working with remote communities. You know, the great thing about Tularosa is you're maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours from anywhere, but you're 2 hours from everywhere, right? And so with that, you benefit with some great resources and construction that we're going to see as we move into the later phases at the completion of design. But with that, you know, there's going to be some benefits in regards to the construction of the project, and we're very proud of the fact that through our design experience, we've completed over 80 school projects in the past 10 years alone on schedule. And so looking forward to continuing working with you all. And again, thank you for the opportunity of selecting our team to be your architect for the new middle school project. Speaking of our team, you have the pleasure of meeting some of the folks in the room. So JL Bejarano, Jose Luis, Ricardo Bravo, and Juan Gallegos, I think are both there with you tonight. So they are in the room and with our El Paso office that we have to support this project being out of our Albuquerque office. You're getting that remote service being that 2 hours from anywhere, as we talked about. They're able to be with you all tonight. And then Sanjay and I have gone down periodically as well for our committee meetings to just make sure that this design process has a lot of input and is well heard. Design Principal Sanjay Kadu, who is also our chief design officer at the firm, is with us. And so he's going to be presenting some information tonight. And then myself, I am one of the Juans, but the Juan Dorado of the Juans. And so I will be your principal in charge with the overall responsibility of this project to make sure we have success with you all going forward. Just a little bit about me. I'm originally from Carlsbad, graduated from Loving, New Mexico. So we played against Tularosa many times for baseball. And so I'm very happy to, be working with you all now at this capacity as your design professional. If you could go back really quick, Sanjay, I just wanted to mention quickly at the bottom, we did submit a proposal for the process, which your committee evaluated and selected this team today. So again, just beyond elated to be that selection for you and have your trust in us going forward for your new middle school project. Okay. So something that we're going to share with you all today, as we do for every one of our Tularosa municipal schools and middle school meetings, is we always start the project with you, your students, your staff, and your community. And that begins with your mission. And so at every one of our committee meetings, just like we're going to do at our board updates that we give here going forward, we start with you, because this project is about you guys. It's about your community, your student success, and how we marry all of those together with the building that's going to be flexible, functional, and have a durable lifespan to last this community 50 years plus, to in turn provide that high student achievement along with a safe, welcoming learning environment, to make sure that we marry those elements of the new building together with your district operations so you guys can maintain it locally with the materials you have there locally. And that in turn comes together to support the district's plan for success when it comes to your new school and your existing schools in Tularosa. So Juan Gallegos is going to talk about our design process and schedule and go through this in detail. But we have a very detailed design process. So Juan, did you want to start here?
Sure. Well, thank you. Good evening, Mr. Gomez, members of the board, Superintendent Lindsay, and distinguished guests. So part of our process, we'll look at the school to make sure that the design is something that is functional, durable, and easy to maintain. Through the different programming and visioning sessions, we understand that this is a shared campus with a shared identity. It's going to be, we want to take into consideration student and staff safety throughout the whole process. So not only during construction, but also as part of the design. We've looked at, and you'll see site circulation is critical. So how is the bus drop-off lane separated from the parent drop-off lane? How is that lane shared between the middle school and the high school? We've studied how to preserve the community heritage. And we want to design a community, a 21st century middle school that's going to serve the Tularosa community. So throughout the design phase, you'll see that we've separated into different phases. So we've gone through the discovery and the programming. Right now, currently, we're in the schematic design, which we are scheduled to deliver at the end of September. After that, we move into what we call the design development phase. Construction documents, those are scheduled to be completed March 2025. And then with PSFA and the district together, the project will go out to bid. It will bid during the summer of 2025, with the end goal that the scheduled start of school is for spring 2027. So in essence, that's part of our design process. Throughout this phase, and we'll hold community events and have like family nights, involve the students, the staff, and we want you guys to use us as a resource, so that when we can present, that this is an involved, informed process. If you go to the next slide, please, Sanjay, you'll see that will start developing renderings and animations that we'll be able to share with the district. Well, you see, like on the left side is Parkview Elementary. Well, you'll fly in, you'll see the animation flying in from the outside. We'll walk through the inside so that they can see the spaces. Same on the right side, Lukashukai, you'll see the site, the aerial, how the buses come in, and you'll start seeing different elements that is gonna inform the community. So all this process is something that's transparent, and that the community and the students and staff are informed. With that, I'll turn it over to Sanjay. He'll be talking to us about the design process of what we've done through from beginning to now, and everything that we've accomplished with the help of the design committee.
Yvonne, can you all hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay, thank you. And again, good evening, board members, good evening, board members, Mr. President, as well as Superintendent Mr. Lindsay, and distinguished guests. I will walk you through our design process, but before I do that, I just want to bring to everyone's attention what we are doing and addressing here. As we all know, we are designing the new school for 240 students that will serve grades 6 to 8, and will comprise of the new middle school, as well as the career technical education building, the new cafeteria. The overall area has been designed and approved by PSFA. One thing I also want to make sure is, yes, this will be accommodating the play field for our practice for the middle school students, as well as we'll have a dedicated classroom for Native American cultural program that will be served between the new school as well as the existing high school. The demolition of the existing middle school is also part of the campus, also part of the project scope. As we all know, it's on a separate campus. And because it's an occupied campus replacement, it will be done in multiple phases, which means the new building will go first. Once the new building is set in and occupied, then the demolition of the existing campus will follow. For any project, Juan talked about how this project is important, and you want to make sure that it is a project for Tularosa. So for us, it started by really understanding what Tularosa means. What does it mean to design a building in Tularosa? Starting from understanding just the meaning of the word, the red or the rose colored seeds, understanding the history, which dates back to almost in mid 18th century. Also understanding the location of Tularosa in the Otero County, as well as the fact that the three sub-tribes, the Mescalero, the Lipan, and the Chiricahua, they all make up the Mescalero Apache tribe, and how all of this history of Tularosa will really enrich the new design for the school. The other thing that we also want to be careful about is this is a school that's going on a shared campus with the high school. So there are certain elements of the high school that we would want to study furthermore and bring them over, not necessarily to replicate them, but make sure that the new school has certain elements borrowed from the high school. So it feels like both the schools, both the facilities were meant to be on a shared campus. So it doesn't look like building A and building B now on the campus. So just to give you a little bit of a peek in on how our design process works. Looking at the site, we all know we have the high school kind of on the west of my screen here. On the east side, we have the elementary school, the intermediate school, and the middle school that we'll be replacing. As we zoom in, the northwest quadrant of the high school, demarcated here with the yellow highlight, is the proposed site for the new middle school to go in. It's nice because there are no existing facilities there that we have to worry about demolishing in phases. So the site is relatively nice and clean. So far, with the help of Mr. Lindsay and the entire design committee, we have finished the programming phase, like Juan Gallegos talked about. So this phase, we identified all the needs for the school, the educational spaces, how many of them, how big, which space needs to be next to which space. And then we have translated a numerical program into more of a graphical program where we are now starting to assign some proportions to each and every space, be it a cafeteria, the gym, or the classrooms. In addition to that, we have also done a very thorough site analysis to really understand the elements that will affect this project in Tularosa, our site, the grading of the site, a detailed study of where the vehicular circulation and the intensity of traffic is. Now, Tularosa is a relatively small town, so you can see all those circles are relatively matching each other, kind of lets us know that the overall vehicular circulation and traffic is relatively consistent on most of the streets around the school campus. Of course, looking into the wind patterns, the solar, the wind, as well as all the views that are in and around the campus. All of this will start feeding in to the building orientation, the strategic location of windows, so that we are making sure that there are eyes on the public front of the building. There are windows where the adults can look out, but not necessarily everybody from outside can look in for security reasons. With all this information within our different offices, as part of our design process, we all come together, we invite people who are working on the project, of course, but even experts who are not working on the project, so they can bring in a fresh perspective. We kind of work on all kinds of solutions, and what comes out of that is some rough hand sketches, and plenty of them arrived out of the exercise that we did on Tularosa. And based on that, we developed 4 different schemes. We intentionally, when presented this to your leadership team, including Mr. Lindsay, as well as the design committee, we intentionally call them as a courtyard scheme, a stack scheme, which was a 2-story scheme, a connected and shift, just so that when we present it, there is no bias from our side saying A, B, C, D, where A is always better than B, or 1, 2, 3, 4, where 4 is never as good as number 1. So we do that intentionally so we can get clear, concise feedback from your design committee. And then zooming in also presented 4 completely separate way of solving the same puzzle. While we were doing that, each and every scheme, we also passed it to make sure through our software programs that it meets the specific requirements of summer solar as well as winter solar. So we can really understand where the shadows would be casted. Not only that, but we also ran each and every scheme before we presented it to your design committee to understand where the wind comfort would be. For example, anything in light green or darker green is where we want to be. It gives us that wind comfort. We also study the wind speed on each and every individual scheme so that we are not creating outdoor spaces which will be uncomfortable to be in because the wind is just gushing through. So each and every scheme went through this overall exercise, and then based upon all the pros and cons, the design committee picked the scheme which is to the left and bottom corner of my screen. We called it as a shift scheme for a couple of reasons. It basically had the shifting planes in and around Tularosa with the terrain that we have, as well as it also created a nice shift in the oval or floor plan. So from the site plan perspective, what the scheme basically does is that's our new building. Just to orient everyone, to the right hand side of my screen is the existing high school, the band room, the existing high school cafeteria, and the auditorium kind of in a north-south direction, all the way to the south being the high school gym. As we started working on the project, it was realized that the existing bus drop-off, which enters somewhere here currently serving the high school, it does make sense to just extend that drop-off to also support the middle school. That way we don't have to do any rerouting of the buses. The buses will follow the same route. With the site and allowance of the site access from the La Luz Avenue, it does make also sense for parents to come in from the south side, drop the students right in front of the school, make a turn and exit out. So it will be a one-way in and a parent drop-off for our students. Jose Luis, do you want to go a little bit more in detail with the site plan?
Yes, thank you, Sanjay. Good evening, everyone. Mr. Gomez, members of the board, Superintendent Lindsay, distinguished guests. If we continue on this image here, Sanjay, if you can help me with the mouse.
Mhm.
We have two main entrances, the one on the north, which is where students are gonna be coming in as soon as they get off the bus, the drop-off zone. They're gonna walk in through that northern door into that long corridor that it's part of our design, a very noticeable access for orientation and for monitoring all the students that are coming in from the north and also from the parent drop-off coming from the south and into the administration area, which is the green squares on the left-hand side. Also, the administration area is gonna have eyes on the north and south entries. Also on the outdoor learning area, which is across the library. What else? Oh, a good point to bring up, once the bus drop off, all the kids on the north, if we have high school students coming in with younger students, maybe their siblings, brothers, sisters, they can like separate to each of their campus. Smaller kids to the middle school going to the left, and then the high school kids going to the right. So it's like a good drop-off connection there. What else, Sanjay? Let me see. On the south side, we have the CTE outdoor area and the building where it can be accessed from the students from the high school coming again through the courtyards that intervene one another. And also we have a Native American classroom that high school students can also come into.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Jose. So just like Jose said, it's a very simple but elegant floor plan. It allows the student circulation to be primarily happening in the north-south corridor. That also allows us to divide the student population. The bus students, drop-off students are coming from the north, parent drop-off students coming from the south. They're all circulating around the supervision of the administration. But the key here is a clear separation of the quieter, the educational spaces, which are all to the north, really benefiting from the north exposure of for natural light, as well as the south exposure, which we all know is very easy to control. Whereas the west and the east, we do not have many windows because, as we all know, west sun is really hot and the sun angle gets very low to control. But it creates this nice hub of educational spaces to the north, nice supervision right in the middle, as well as the noisier areas, the play areas, the cafeteria, the gym for any outdoor performances, community use are more intentionally located to the south. If I zoom in a little bit more to walk you through the overall floor plan, so this would be our parent drop-off entry or the visitor entry per se. As we come in, the main thing is our administration, all our offices are with the west and to the south. So you will always have adult supervision and eyes on the public front of the building. Anybody coming in will be seen by our administration staff. And then of course, there will be all the access control mechanism included as part of the overall project design. Once the students are in, the bell rings. At that point, the southern entry door will automatically go in a lockdown mode. So now anyone coming late to the school will always have to go through the main entry, have to check in, and then go into the school if needed. Like Jose said, the entire green area will be all our administration offices, staff offices. As we come in, If you make a left turn, this is where our dedicated sixth grade students are. So they are kind of in a zone of their own, keeping them separated from the seventh and the eighth grade. So basically, we have three pods: the sixth grade pod, the seventh grade pod, and then the eighth grade pod, ending with the Native American classroom. To the south, right in front of the administration, would be the cafeteria, a nice restroom block, and then the gymnasium. The main intention is where that line is drawn. If needed, the school district can literally close the rest of the school here and still open the cafeteria, the library, and the gym for any after-hour events to happen, or on a game night, so that the cafeteria can start acting as a pre-function space, allowing the occupants to use the cafeteria for any pre-function or food serving. The CTE is intentionally separated, but yet will have a nice connection to the main campus. But the key is it will have a nice connection to the high school campus, so the students can come in and out. The half play court is located right next to the gymnasium for our middle schoolers. And then, Ricardo, do you want to talk about how you designed the Native American classroom?
Yeah. Well, for the Native American classroom, our intention was to create this plaza around it. And just to make sure it was the standout of the building, we just tilted 90 degrees. So we can have this connection to the outdoor, to the plaza and to the courtyard we were designing. Basically, it's creating a little more space to put windows to see the outdoors and the nice part of the design.
So basically what it will allow us to do is, of course, the Native American classroom can be accessed from inside for our middle school students, but it also allows easy access for our high school students. As the design progresses, we'll really design this outdoor space to really support the educational function that is happening in the Native American classroom. The key here is the building kind of creates more of a secured periphery, allowing these green areas to develop into some really nice outdoor learning spaces where all our students can easily come out and we can have some nice outdoor learning opportunities, some simple shade structures, multiple classrooms, multiple grades can come out and have a beautiful outdoor learning space, which is completely safe and secured so that no stranger can even have an access to that overall outdoor learning space. Just zooming out and giving everyone a glimpse of what it does in 3D massing, we can see the blue arrow indicates the parent drop-off. The bus drop-off is to the north. You can see the single-story educational spaces, the classroom wings, the administration, library right across the administration with openable doors further to the east. So you can open the library to this outdoor learning and reading area. And then, of course, the taller volumes of the gym and the cafeteria located to the south. We have also started thinking about how it will all interact with the overall high school. This is very early. These are what we call them as boxing diagrams, but just to give you all a bit of a feel to understand how the overall stacking and the massing would start happening. So this is where the administration is. As you can see, a lot of windows will happen so that they have eyes on the public front. A very well kind of a celebrated entry so that there is no ambiguity as to where the main entry is to the school. So that's the main entry for visitors and parent drop-off students. That same element will pronounce the entry on the south side for bus drop-off students. We are looking into the possibility, could that lobby have a slightly extended height than the rest of the school? So we can flood it with natural light from east and west so that when you are in the lobby, it has all this natural light coming in. The library, as you can see, is further to the east of that main circulation spine. And then the green areas are where the outdoor learning and the play areas happen. Along with the CTE facility, its own outdoor shaded area for outdoor work area, as well as its secured outdoor space, along with direct access for vehicular delivery. And then again, this is still work in progress, not the final design, but just some thoughts about how can we celebrate the entry? Can we borrow certain elements from the existing high school to really enhance it? How can we start looking into kind of exhibit the pride with the Tularosa school? can we use certain elements from functional point of view? We can hide the service yard that is behind it, but from an aesthetical point of view, how can we really enhance the main entry sequence into the brand new facility? So that was kind of just a very quick overview. I know you have your school board meeting, so don't want to take too much of your time, but at this point, myself and my entire team stand for any questions you may have.
I think you think those are gonna come in later when security is more exhaustion. Yeah, as much as I hate to say that, there's gonna be a time where that's just something we're gonna have to be concerned with, so. But that'll be later on down the road, assuming when those phases come through and then
You're talking about fencing and
unfortunately.
cameras.
Cameras and things of that nature.
Yeah, that's.
Right.
But it's nice because the inside courtyard is totally blocked off.
Right.
Nobody can get into that.
But I still think we need that extra security.
So, definitely.
If I may, President Gomez, members of the board, Superintendent Lindsay, just wanted to make a comment. If you can go back to the site plan really quick, Sanjay. One thing that we will do as part of this design process going forward is our next step is to meet, now that we have a floor plan in place along with a site plan, we're going to meet with your local first responders. And so we meet with who's going to be responding to calls in the case of an emergency at the school, how their access will work, where they will park, where just becoming familiar with the building. So we can then take all of that input, bring it to your design committee and make some design decisions from there. At our office, we practice Sept, which is crime prevention through environmental design. And so it's a holistic look at the entire site along with your high school site. And we identify ways that we establish territoriality to deter people from approaching the campus. This may be through fencing. This may be another area that kind of stands off from the building away from the fencing as, let's say, landscape. And then, of course, at your building level, if you go up one plan, Sanjay, the introduction of security vestibules, and as we talked earlier, one point of entry to and from your school during hours of use. After the students come in, you'll have access control hardware that is on a time clock that maybe allows the students to come in for 15 to 30 minutes during the drop-off period, but then doors begin to lock automatically to where your front entry is the only way to have operations from the public or parents visiting the school during school hours. And so that is an important thing to us as well. We have in-house certified professionals that are going to do plan reviews of this. And we're going to, as we meet with your first responders, bring all of these ideas back. It's important that we balance it because as much as we incorporate, security perimeters to your school itself, it's important to balance that with your first responder access because they're going to, with those barriers, keep, of course, unwanted guests out. And in some cases, when we have a step that we maybe don't have a thought through process and just introduce site barriers everywhere, it also keeps your emergency first responders out. And so balancing how that access works to your school is very much a part of this process through a lot of input from our partners there and community partners.
Mr. Gaston, science, you'll see later will develop, but it's almost like a layered security.
Yes, sir.
Where you walk into a secure vestibule, then you're bringed in or allowed in, and then there's another layer of security. So before the person can access the interior of the campus, it already went through a series of prevention.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
No, absolutely great questions. These are the things that we have to really think about nowadays. It's sad that we have to, but it's just a reality of where we are today. I have two kids, and it pains me that we have to think about and talk about those things at schools. But again, just a slight extension with the new layers and layers of security, the way the design will further develop is somewhere by the reception area, there would be the parent-teacher conference room. That way, any visitors coming in, for the most part, will basically be asked to wait in the conference room, and the teacher will come in from the other secure entry and meet with them. Unless there is a very specific reason, the inner vestibule doors providing access to the school will never ever be open, no matter who the visitor is, unless there is a specific need. So the first line of defense happens at the main door. We come or in, there is a telephone connection that you speak with the receptionist. She then opens the second door, so you can now come in and interact with the receptionist, and more than likely he or she would ask you to wait in the conference room so the parents, sorry, the teachers can come and meet with you. And then the visitor just leaves unless there is a very specific reason. Like I said, only then the third layer will be opened by the receptionist so that the visitor can then go into the school.
Yeah.
But again, layers and layers of
Yeah,
security.
great point. Even in the operations, having the nurse's office close to that front entry is something we're going to try to do, so the student can just make their way right to that front secure area where the parent is there to pick them up. So there'll be some things that we incorporate throughout the design process to just really have that educational area feel safe and secure, while also balancing the design elements with those security barriers and perimeters.
Okay. If there are no additional questions, I apologize. We took more time than we thought we would, but great conversations. And again, board president, members of the board, superintendent, Mr. Lindsay, as well as all the distinguished kids there. Thank you for allowing us to present our design process. And our intention is to keep working with your design committee, and with Mr. Lindsay's permission, we'll keep coming back to you all. So you all on a monthly or a bi-monthly basis are always in the loop, so that your design committee along with Mr. Lindsay are making the key decisions, but we also would want your support behind as the design process moves forward from one phase to the other. So again, thank you very much.
Absolutely. No, thank you all so much. It's important that we keep you all informed to advocate for this new project. The community is going to feel like something's not happening because they haven't seen or heard. But as you guys are out in your community and you know the folks there, definitely advocate that there is action going on, and it's exciting for what's going to come.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, folks. You take care.
Thank you.
Again, appreciate you guys a lot. Thanks for coming down.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For the opportunity. Yes, sir.
Next time, Jose, Lisa, I'll get you back. Apologize for that. Thanks, Dave. Those reports. You out there, you all.
We just finished up our monthly isolation testing for September, and things are looking really, really good. Normally the beginning of the year is a little bit shaky as kids come back over the summer break, but we're already at 52% on or above level in reading and 44% on or above level in math. And so we've really done a lot of intervention groups, but also enrichment groups this year, started in last year. And it's made a big difference as far as sending our kids off for summer, ready to read on their own and come back to school ready to read. Our PBIS plan's going well. We had every grade level, kinder, first and second, meet their attendance goals. So everyone got to have a party, popcorn party. And yesterday we amazingly had only 2 kids absent on the whole campus. So we had a big popcorn party for 99% attendance. We've had several donations just throughout the last few weeks, but we had a wagon full of basketball, soccer balls, footballs donated. The family Walmart in Alamogordo gave us a big cart full of school supplies a couple weeks ago. And then last week we got a $2,500 donation from Dollar General for our literacy, book clubs, enrichment, and all that fun stuff. For Friday clubs, we have another grant we're using for our garden club, and all that's ready. We've been starting to purchase things for our outdoor garden club, planters, and aquaponics unit, and then 2 aeroponics or hydroponics, so our kids can grow things inside. We have a couple kids who their body temperature can only get so high, and so they wanted to be part of garden club so they can do that by having the indoor garden activities. And then we have math tutoring in the afternoon, Monday through Thursday. We've got 12 kids doing that, and Mr. Burns and Miss Bailey have graciously volunteered to do that. So they're here every day after school, Monday through Wednesday, to get 12 kids caught up. And once those kids are caught up, we'll pick 12 new kids and keep getting everybody where they need to be. And we started our first fundraiser on Monday, School Store, and our parents are amazing. We already have $1,500 for our school. So that's everything for TS.
Thank you. Miss Yachty. Our intermediate principal that, Ron Clark with 11 other teachers, so Yachty is standing in for tonight to read the principal's report.
Yes. As he mentioned, I'm here representing the intermediate school for Dr. Rockmore. We had a new schedule, as you all know, we had a new schedule for the school because everything changed. Everybody was a little iffy about it, but it seems to be coming together right now. We sent our progress reports today. We are enjoying our kids being in their houses. They're all coming together. Some of them didn't know each other, but now they're becoming friends because of that. So the Brown Clark houses, the board houses. And we were short a custodian. We had interviews done today by some of the, I guess, the central office. And we're hoping we get one by next month, hopefully.
And next Monday, they're gonna start actually.
Okay, even better. I will-
Oh, they're right, it's a 2-week notice we have to wait for.
Okay. And our preschool, the playground, they're hoping that they are able to use it pretty soon because they're getting along really good, like they're almost done with most of it. And our other grades are cooperating really good. They're not getting in the way or anything. There is sometimes that we have to have teachers go to the other side of the playground to escort our students and stay with them. Sometimes it's a little hard, but we manage somehow. And what else? We have, like, Mr. Lindsay said, we have some people at the Wrong Park. We have Dr. Rockmore, Mr. Federico Rodriguez, Miss Pam, and Miss Bell up there as well. And we want to recognize Rebecca Norris for all the hard work she's done for the houses and putting together all the kids in their houses and the ice cream for the parents. And we will Ms. Rockmore had a part for her. And we also want to recognize Amanda because she did everything for everybody to be able to go to these trips. And I know she did this last year as well. And this year, Ms. Rockmore wants to say thank you. And that's it.
Nothing for me? Really?
I appreciate you.
We don't have Miss Burger tonight, but we do have Miss Hill.
Okay, so for Daniel's school, he said that the student enrollment for 6th grade is at 70, 7th grade is at 85, and 8th grade is at 55. Florida Middle School is in full swing with sports, while the 7th and 8th grade volleyball is traveling to Hatch Valley today to take on the Lady Bears, and the middle school football team is at Chaparral today, and that's where he's at. He went to the Chaparral middle school game. Club hour is going good with clubs ranging from movie club, rodeo club, walking club, puzzle club, Spanish club, homework club, baking club, drawing club, sports club, trivia club, Xbox club, chess club, drama club, and FFA club.
And club club.
Everybody has their own club there.
Club hours every Friday from 11 to 12. Clubs could change every 9 weeks, so students will have the opportunity to try out multiple clubs throughout the school year. The Wildcat Pride Academy houses are now implementing the Essential 55 rules. Each house will be conducting house meetings on Tuesday, Thursday mornings from 8 to 8:30. Each week over the next few weeks, the Wildcat Pride Academy will work on groups of the Essential 55 rules 1 week at a time. And then high school.
I could have given you this one.
So at the high school, we are doing 0 hour, and that is from 7:30 to 8:30. And so we do like a combination of tutoring, interventions, and clubs as well. And I've gotten a lot of positive feedback. We still have some of those that, you know, their change is hard for them. But the 8:30 start time for high school students is absolutely fantastic. Like our tardies are down. The kids that do want to participate, they're there. And then we also have that driving factor that I felt like wasn't there for the last 3 years, is like we always have parents that are like, we need tutoring, my kids' grades are down, and we're like, oh, we offer an entire hour of it every Monday through Thursday. Senora has her classes out there practicing their dancing and the bus lanes, and it's a beautiful sight. Like kids kind of, if they don't want to participate in activities in the morning, we send them to the cafeteria and they get just kind of chill and they have a chance to wake up. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. We go first through third, and then, this year we also started advisory classes, so we're now 5 weeks in. And, advisory, we started cracking down, we started doing Zello, which is our career inventory assessment. But that will go into our next step plans, and then we also are posting scholarships for students to apply at any of our grade levels. So we have freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors already applying for scholarships at the high school. And then, as this 9 weeks continues, all advisory classes will start working on what's called a senior portfolio. Instead of just cramming that all into their senior year, they'll actually be building these portfolios that Mr. Lindsay and Ms. Montoya brought to us that are fantastic. And we got a lot of great feedback, especially from the community scholarship donors. Other than that, fourth, fifth, and sixth runs as normal. We have full swing of sports going on, and they're actually doing fantastic. We had our first volleyball game last night. We have homecoming next week, and the homecoming committee has just planned out precisely of what we're doing. We actually swapped out more chaperones for the bonfire, because the bonfire last year just turned into this giant community event, like.
That's awesome.
And they are already stacking wood over there, so I'm sure it's gonna be just as big this year. So, we have a lot of activities going on our campus. We've started a lot of just trying to have fun with the kids on our campus. This Friday, we're doing Wildcat of the Week, and it's just kids that, show up in their Wildcat gear. We'll just choose one, and we have a prize set out for them. We do music in the hallway passing period every chance we get to try to get kids to dance. We are doing Bust a Move Fridays, where we actually play the song Bust a Move, and we have teachers out there dancing and students out there dancing, and just trying to put a smile on kids' faces. This week, Ms. Blundell's nursing class worked on suicide prevention, because yesterday was Suicide Prevention Day. And so they actually passed around these little notes, and then it was just to post it, and you read it, and then you passed it on. And so we just had kids all day passing these Post-its around, and it just little things that, add to our school instead of just so rigorous on classes. P&M with the lineman's class that Mr. Montes is doing has asked for a media day, so we're getting that set up. We got full approval of our innovation zones yesterday, so our students and work-based learning activities, our student ran store, all that will start coming together with Coach Castillo. You guys have any questions?
We have the tutoring for 0 hour. Do you have enough tutors to go around, enough staff to go around?
We actually do. So our math department, our entire math department, that's where the biggest need was. But the entire math department does tutoring Monday through Thursday.
Thank you.
And then, so our drama teachers, Miss Vegas and Miss Brand, they were just gonna do drama 1 day a week and then tutoring for English 3 days a week. But then, once we got started, they had this giant group of drama kids that, they were like, we wanna participate in this. And then the English, tutoring was so many kids, so, Senora is our department chair in the languages department, and so they got together and they decided to do 2 days of drama theater and 2 days of tutoring on that one. Yes. Yeah, that is a very busy department on 0 hour, because they got a little bit of everything going on down there. They have our Native American club, they have Spanish club, they have tutoring, and they have drama club going down. So very, very thankful for the staff. I cannot thank them enough. They are literally my ride or dies. I have a Lynn out this week, and I don't know what I'm doing. Jonah had a second yesterday, so yeah, school secretaries are just, they are the boss, so. Yeah, so, yeah, it's going pretty good. lots of tutoring going on. We have credit recovery, we have dual credit. We actually took our dual credit out of the day and put it into 0 hours so kids can actually they can work on their dual credit by themselves. We have 2 different labs for them. We have ENMUR from Ruidoso and NMSUA coming in. I'm not trying to speak too much, but we had Western Technical College from El Paso in yesterday for our seniors. And so with that advisory class, we were able to pull in all of the seniors and just show them, I didn't even know this college existed in El Paso with dorms. So it's an entire vocational school, and it's just, I don't know, that advisory has been, we have a lot of tweaking to do on it, but I just feel like a lot more kids are being seen and heard in that advisory class. So there's some opportunities.
Thank you. Are you sure you're done?
No, I have more. We have a lot of good things going on with that.
Those are awesome. Thank you guys all. Principals, if you guys want to get out of here, you're more than welcome to. It's live. This is the one.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Consideration of agenda.
Yeah, Mr. President, members of the board, I'm recommending approval of the consideration of agenda.
We have a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Consideration of minutes.
Yes, Mr. President, members of the board, I'm recommending approval of the consideration of minutes for the August 14, 2024 regular board meeting. And that's it.
We have a motion.
That was just the one change. Or Decker was not able to make that match.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Okay, so I think we're good. I'll make a motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. President, I'm sorry, I apologize. I should have added the August 21st, 2024 special board meeting minutes for the special special meeting we had.
Yes, sir.
And
We
second.
need to- And September
And
3rd. Oh, I did see the second page.
Yes.
So. Motion.
We get a motion.
I'll make a motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Consideration of check register.
Yeah, Mr. President, members of the board, we have Mr. Regular on online with us. Presenting report, but I'm
Yeah.
recommending approval of the check register for August 2024.
I'll make sure I get all these quick.
You want us to present them on screen?
No, sir, I think I'm okay, because this is, for Coach Castañon, and I'll ask him when I see them. It's just concerning the basketball boys uniforms, because I know the girls are gonna end up later on down the line getting all their stuff taken care of.
Right, yeah, well, the boys get one, girls got.
Right.
I didn't know he was on rotation this year.
I didn't either, that's why I was asking, but since he wasn't here, I figured I'd catch him.
I'll check with that.
Thank you.
Anything else? Make a motion.
I'll second.
Naomi? All in favor?
Aye.
Discussion and consideration of prayer at school events.
And Mr. President, members of the board, I'm recommending approval for prayer at school events. We discussed this last meeting and it was brought up.
Yes, sir.
It's in your hands. I do recommend it.
And make a motion. Accept. Okay, Naomi?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have Mr. Bregler online for his report, for the businessman report for the bars and stuff. Mr. Bregler?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So the bars this month, we had a new grant for the elementary school. They had applied for and got a New Mexico Outdoor Learning Grant. For operational, that was an increase because they readjusted the unit value and a couple other things in the SEG. So we got 278,000 more in operational funds. And then the 21,000 cafeteria fund, that was just a maintenance bar to do a little bit of cleanup in that fund for those. As far as the board report, I mean, we're early on in the year, everything's looking good. We did do a good job of spending grant money on school supplies, so we didn't really have to touch operational very much for that. We have some new grants, but everything is looking good. Did you have any questions on any of the funds? No. Okay, and then I just wanted to mention in December, our food service contractor, some of their higher ups are going to come out and do a presentation to the board, and they're going to go over some things that they're looking at doing, and you'll be able to ask them any questions when they come out, and that'll be coming up in December.
Okay, do we need this add them to the board report, I mean, to the board meeting that in December, Tom?
Yeah, they'll be on the agenda in December. And that's all I had.
Thank you, Tom, appreciate it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did want to mention our new auditors will be here next week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday next week.
Sure. I skipped over my report, which is on 4.3, we have food truck, is a board to kind of go over that before we set the next board meeting. We've been looking into the food truck, so we're gonna bring it back to the next board meeting and probably try to get permission to really dive in to try and find us a food truck. And then when we find one, we'll bring it back with options and stuff with the board's approval.
Find it what it is that we need.
What we need, yeah, exactly.
Right.
Aztec has one in a bus. And sounds like it works really good, so I'm gonna try to talk to yeah, see what they have to, see why it doesn't find Kurt, I believe it is, Aztec, and get pictures and see what it could say and find out really what really get exactly, put it up, and but that'd be kind of a neat.
Yeah.
You'd have to steal and you could drive it, it'd be kind of.
What does that fall under? Does that fall under CT? Does that fall?
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, and our food service guy, Mr. Green, he's all ready for it, and I think that these nights, football games are really busy and we can,
Students, right?
yep, students running it. Money goes back into their program, it's a win-win, and plus the experience they get from a food truck is invaluable. It's actually, it goes back to business, the foods, it goes to lots of things, so. It can be tied to a lot of.
See what I had that when I was young. Such a great idea, yeah, yeah.
And the next one, we have some concerns with some nut allergies. When I said nut policy, it almost sounds like you don't want crazy people on campus. This is actually, but we have some really big concerns, and so I drew up a policy. I sent with each one of you guys to look over. And then the next board meeting, we'd like to bring it back up for discussion and consideration. And if you see any changes on this or anything you'd like to look at, please let us know as we go.
I need to go look at that actually.
We have some, I'm thinking myself, we need to do it for elementary and the intermediate. I think kids can advocate for themselves and get to middle school and high school. And high school, like that's necessary, but I think the elementary and the younger ages that we really need to watch out.
I agree. I didn't know if this was put in place for that specific reason, but you know, a lot of times they don't want parents bringing in their own baked goods for what, that was a big reason for that, correct?
Could put pecans in it or
Right.
something like
Peanut
that.
oil or anything, and
The wrong oil,
Right.
exactly.
Okay.
Peanut butter, anything.
yeah.
So, and some of the allergies are really, really severe, like
Oh, yeah.
life and death. So we need to really protect our kids and just keep that out of our schools, as
Yes,
long as
sir.
we have students with those allergies. And that's with that, any questions for me? Construction, they mentioned is going on really good. It's pre-K playground. Should be done anytime. We got we're waiting for the mulch to come in and then put the fence up and the kids can play.
Speaking of the mulch, at the intermediate school. At the old playground. Well,
Was that
it
mulch or was that?
was mulch slash grass slash.
The stuff that's coming up.
Yes.
Yeah, we're looking at solutions for that. The problem is if you add mulch, it blows away there because it's not contained.
Right.
If you add sand, cats in the neighborhood.
grab that
they're
stuff.
playing. So I'm thinking we're gonna have to wait till spring and when kids are gone, put dirt in there and replant back with grass. Right now, it's such a trip hazard though, it's dangerous.
Yeah, I'm even for all that stuff.
Yeah, I was thinking even if it's a weed burner, just burn it.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
To burn it down. We gotta do something with the weed.
Yeah, we need to do something with that.
And maybe bring dirt in now, and then get ready to sod it this spring.
Okay.
Just to get that.
Yeah,
So far, nobody's been hurt on it, but knock on wood.
right.
I know with mulch, they're gonna have issues with it, catching fire.
Oh, yeah, well, this is a manufactured mulch, and we're gonna have splinters and stuff, so it's not really it's not, I don't know what that fire.
Oh, they have a fire retardant to it or whatever.
It should have, because it's manufactured mulch. You know, you can buy the rubber mulch, but it's so expensive. It's ridiculous expensive. Ground up tires. Yeah, ground them up, and I've still belted sidewalls out. Is there any other? I miss any other construction like that? Nothing, we still don't have our room done at the high school yet, Jody, correct? They're still waiting for the.
There's like some, the sprinkler system and connecting.
Yeah, so that should be done soon, very soon, I hope, and other than that, we're in the middle of a meeting with PSFA or with ASA Architects to finish the air conditioning on the intermediate school.
Yeah.
And so that should be.
Delivered by the end of next month.
Yeah, they're hoping to do it during the breaks.
They finished,
Yes, no, they're still out
Oh, they're
there
still
working,
doing that?
there's still trucks there working on that, so.
For them, it's getting a little bit colder.
Yeah, exactly. Come fall, we can take a look into getting rid of that dead eyesore of a tree in front of the high school. And
They're
replant
supposed to
that.
be gone already, yeah.
Yeah,
Jody, have you heard, if they're gonna cut that down anytime soon, the dead tree?
it's fine.
It's gone.
Yes.
I thought somebody said they was gonna do it, that long ago, but
All right.
Our campus looks just immaculate.
it does look good.
Yeah.
We were just speaking about, there's a lot for these guys to cover. There's a lot of areas. that we get done.
Brandon, our new maintenance guy, he's going 100 miles an hour trying to stay caught up.
Let's not burn them out. All right, sounds good.
And any other questions for me? But I'll stand down.
Nope, I think you get the food truck out of the way.
Anything that-
Ready.
Number's nine.
Nine to do.
Anybody else? Yes. Okay. Motion to adjourn meeting. Motion to adjourn.
Aye.
You have to be a little nervous, but I already said off. You did very, very good.
I was gonna talk about today, but I was like,